Hi, this is Mary from Cycle Maintenance Academy. CMA are back on the road again, and I'm very fortunate to be joined by Dominic Langan, who is CEO of Madison. Hi, Dominic.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Can you tell us how the pandemic has affected bike trade?
Well, obviously, at the beginning of the pandemic, we were lucky enough as a industry to be seen as an essential service provider. So shops were allowed to be open, so that helped a lot. And there were obviously a lot of people at home on furlough and so on. So they had a lot of leisure time. And that particular summer of 2020 was actually really nice weather as well, which helped. So I think it suddenly gave people, the roads were quiet, and it was a great opportunity to go out riding your bike, and it just gave the industry a massive boost at that point, because it was already in 2019, beginning of 2020, it was looking like it was going to be a bit of a tough year for cycle, but suddenly that had a massive boost, and so that worked really well. And obviously, demand globally, this happened across the world, and the demand globally just exploded. I think that's when all this problems started to occur in a way, because lead time started to get longer for product. And then the factories locked us into orders, and in order to keep your place in the queue, you had to lock in. And in some cases, we were on 600 days lead time for a saddle. So and that's nearly 2 years waiting. And so what happened is, by that stage, the as the market started cooling down as we came out of the pandemic, the orders were still coming in still, because people were locked in. And I think it's almost soon as Boris Johnson said it was Freedom Day, we thought sales would gradually come back to normal after the pandemic, but they actually just went all like that. And I think no one, there's lots of industry commentators that say all these things in hindsight, which is of course a wonderful thing, but no one knew exactly when it was going to finish and how abruptly it would finish. So, but the stock carried on pouring in because the factories were still trying to keep up with that demand. And that has now led us to the position where we're in now, with way too much inventory in the marketplace, heavy discounting as people are trying to clear it, and it's just spiraled from there, really.
Do you think that shops and suppliers need to work together?
Yeah, I mean, I always think, at Madison, I've been at Madison for 35 years, and one of the roles I had quite a long time ago was I spent a lot of time going around bike shops trying to help them become a more professional retailer. So I came from a retail background, and it was about proper inventory management, range planning, visual merchandising, making shop look nice, and how the staff, making sure staff are trained and knowledgeable about products. And even to this day, I have a team of technical sales guys. These outside of my normal sales team, these guys are Shimano tech reps that go around and help train. We have visual merchandise that go around shops and help displays, training shop staff as well on all products, everything that's new. So we've always, as a company, our philosophy is that if unless the retailer is good at what they do, that has a knock-on effect with me. If I invest in them, it will pay off for me. So that's kind of, we've always had that attitude. I mean, we really do need retailers, because we're the distributors of Shimano. It's a very technical product. We need good qualified mechanics, which is why we do. We've always been a support of the SciTech mechanics training. We invest a lot in that as well, and we have our own training store as well. So it's a really important thing for us, and we need shops to exist in order to be able to support the products that we sell.
It's a good point, and I think it brings us on to the whole. Is it all going to be taken by online?
No, I honestly, I think the UK was probably more than most other countries in Europe really pro online, not just for cycle, everything, and we really adopted it quite quickly. But I think I think that they're not as strong. That's just not as powerful as it used to be. I think part of it's down to how more technical products have gotten consumers' confidence in whether they can actually do that maintenance work themselves. But also, people want that technical expertise of the store to explain to them why this is a better product than this one, or more suitable for what I want, and so on. And I think there's always a need for that. I think where the price, there's a big difference. That's always been the challenge, but I think that gap is starting to narrow, and there's definitely things happening in the marketplace now that are going to shake things up, I think will be to the benefit of an independent bike shop.
Brilliant. And can you tell us a bit about Freewheel, which is part of the
Yeah,
Madison?
well, Freewheel is, we carry a hell of a lot of products, and there's no shop, that's going to carry everything we do. I wouldn't expect them to, don't want them to. But, even for a well-run bike shop, there's so many size, color options, and so on that you're never going to please everyone. And what we try to do with Freewheel is it allows consumers to be able to order everything that we offer as a company, but it links to their local bike shop, and so they can buy it. It can either be delivered home, or you can click and collect in store, and the retailer is part of that transaction. So you get the benefit of ordering online if that's what you want to do. But if you have any technical requirements or support afterwards, you can go in the bike shop, and rather than the bike shop looking at you like you pulled out the cheese, you're a customer of theirs. So there's a much better relationship and dynamic. And I think also during COVID, people realise that actually there's a big value in your local business, the local retailer.
What sort of advice could you give modern shops now?
I think the advice I would give is that the customer that comes into your shop goes into lots of other shops on the high street, and they're used to a modern retail environment. And I would say that I think that what a lot of bike shops really need to do is look at what they range in their shops, how it's displayed, looking at doing a promotional calendar, thinking what's relevant to their customers at certain times, and just trying to create a good retail environment. And I think the challenge for a lot of bike shops is that we're primarily run by much more mechanical people, and not necessarily retailers. And it's kind of the retailer's their secondary skill set. Why will a customer come and buy a shop over doing something online? What is it that I'm not doing right? And sometimes it is price to get that, but a lot of the time it could be maybe I haven't got the right range. Maybe how good are we at greeting customers when they walk through the door? Are we intimidating? Are we inclusive? Are we only really interested in enthusiasts? And if a regular person comes in, how are they made to feel? Some external factors are hurting shops, but there's also plenty of internal factors that also hurt shops. So maybe it reflects on some of the things you do as well, rather than blaming the world and its dog. Sometimes they look in the mirror and there's a few bits we can all do, right? It goes without saying, but I think that's kind of what I'd recommend is really just thinking about, this is what I put in my shop, this is how I want it to look, rather than walking in and you see like 15 brands of saddle, God knows how many brands of lights, and a consumer coming in is just like, what am I meant to choose for this? It's just confusing, overwhelming, rather than nicely curated and products that you're comfortable in selling and knowledgeable about. I think it's finding that balance, really.
Finally, is there any message for the end user, for some of our?
It's like, look, we want people to enjoy riding. That's the best thing. It's the best feeling in the world. We want people to have a good riding experience. And you need your local bike shop. You need a mechanic. You need that expertise. They help you, with local trails to go riding on, advice on so many things. And okay, sometimes it may cost a little bit more, but they have got the overheads of shop staff, training, and all those things. And I think we have to accept that. Yeah, maybe you can buy from certain big online people, but ultimately they won't be able to fix your bike or help you in the end. And they do so many other things for community and support. So it's, as a way of supporting them, I think, honestly, we need to keep bike shops, and, otherwise, I think workshop is the fundamental sort of the cornerstone of the bike shop. But I think it'd be a very sad thing to start losing them. So we're doing all we can to try and solve that.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. That's great. Bye.